Okay, so now we're going to finish with dilations. And dilation means one of two things. It means you're either getting proportionally larger or proportionally smaller. And the rule for dilations is going to be x to y, and then you just multiply whatever k is times x and times y, since we're doing uniform dilations. So I'm going to write 3 over 2 times x, comma, 3 over 2 y. And for number 12, we're going to do 2/3. So the key here is figuring out which one's going to get larger and which one's going to get smaller. And here's the key. If the absolute value of k is greater than 1, you're going to be creating an enlargement. But if the absolute value of k is between 0 and 1, so you could say 0 is less than k, which is less than 1, or you could say 1 is greater than the absolute value of k, which is greater than 0. These two things mean the same thing, and they both mean you'll be creating something that's smaller, or a reduction. So I've already written the 2 points. Since this 3 over 2, 3/2 equals 1.5, this is greater, this will be an enlargement. So we'll be multiplying both the original x and the original y by 1.5 or 3.2. You can work it whichever way you want. I'm just going to put 1 times 3.2 is 3.2, and 1 times 3.2 is 3.2, or 3 over 2. 3 times 3 over 2 is 9 over 2. So both of these are 9 over 2. That's going to be equal to 4.5 for each of those. We already said this is 1.5 for each of those. For C, 2 times 3 over 2, 2 times 3 over 2, it's the same as 2 over 1 times 3 over 2. The 2's cancel, and it equals 3. So this 2 times 3 over 2 would equal 3. And 3 times 3 over 2, we already said, is 9/2. And for D prime, 3 times 3 over 2 is 9/2. And 2 times 3 over 2 is 3. Here are points to plot. So I'm going to run 1.5, rise, 1.5, and there is A prime. I'm going to run 4.5, rise, 4.5. Here's B prime. I'm going to kind of do this one in dashes so we can still see our underlying original object. I'm going to run 3, rise 4.5. I guess that one I could go ahead and make solid. And I'm going to run 4.5, rise 3. So in dark blue, you can see how big the enlargement became. That was for number 11. I'll switch colors to work the last one. Here's the purple's going to show up. How about a green? We're going to multiply the original A, B, C, and D by 2/3. So 1 times 2/3 is 2/3. We're going to get that twice. 3 times 2/3 is the same as 3 over 1 times 2/3. The 3's cancel, and that will equal 2. So this is going to be 2, 2. Here for C prime, again we have 2 times 2/3, which is the same as 2 over 1 times 2/3, so that's 4/3. But 3 times 2/3 we already said was equal to 2. And here we're going to get our 2 again, and our 3 times 2/3. Am I saying that right? 3 times 2/3. It's 2, and we're going to do our 2 times 2/3, which is the 4 over 3. And we're going to plot these points. So instead of going run 1, rise 1, we're going about 2/3 of the way over, 2/3 of the way up. And in green, I'm trying to do a new A prime. And for B prime, we're just going to go 2, 2. There's B prime. And you can indeed see that we've gotten smaller right here. Those 2 points are much closer than the original A and B. We're going to run 1 1/3 and rise 2. So we're about right here for C prime. And for D prime, we'll run 2, rise 1 1/3. And there's our D prime. So in green, you see the smaller transformation that was a reduction. So that's right. This is a reduction. And this was an enlargement. Kind of hard to see the G.